I'm the woman in wool, and on this channel we crochet and we talk history. And I know this is a knitting needle, you need to relax. But I'm an American who's been living in Ireland for 8 years, and I've learned quite a bit about what's American, what's Irish, what Americans think is Irish, and what Irish think is American. So, without further ado, here are some things that are specifically Irish American. They're both part one, corned beef. Growing up in New York, every St. Patrick's Day, my family, who is not genetically Irish in any way, shape, or form, would go to an Irish pub and have corned beef and cabbage. And then I moved to Dublin and never saw it again. So it's American. Well, it's Irish, but not in Ireland. During Ireland's turbulent history, cows were only eaten when they were too old to work in the fields. So the beef would be tough, so slow cooking it in things like stews or pies was the best way to make sure it was soft. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, mass immigration! Woo! The first record of corned beef came from the Vikings coming into Ireland, so we know it's been around for a long time. But long story short, corned beef is just beef that's preserved with salt kernels the size of corn kernels. Corned beef. And this was the way many immigrants would preserve beef for long journeys to places like Australia, the UK, and especially America. There would be no food on these ships, so people had to bring their own food for the long journeys. They were called coffin ships, but that's a different video. And actually the name corned beef was coined by the British when the transport of live cattle to Britain was banned. So they preserved it in these corn kernel salt things. And since Irish immigration started focusing towards the United States, Irish people who had the corned beef with them on their journeys over started to raise first-generation Americans, who raised second-generation Americans, etc. And then the term corned beef came to be known as an Irish food. So it is Irish food, but it's Irish food for leaving, meaning that it is predominantly Irish American. Ta-da!